Are you over 60 and still single? And you're thinking that love has passed you by, you're too old to date now, and it's not even worth trying? Well, I'm here to tell you that that is not true. And in this video today, we're going to talk about something that you usually don't think about when it comes to dating, and that's mindset. What you believe is going to happen when you go out to date usually is what you get. So today in this video, we're going to talk about how to change your mindset and have the experience that you didn't think was even possible when it came to dating. I'm too old for this. The dating pool is too small. All older men just want younger women. These are some of the things that I hear people say all of the time. And if you believe it, then you're not going to make any effort to change it as far as your mind goes. And if you're not going to make any effort to change it, then you're not going to move forward in meeting anybody. And you never know who you might be missing out on meeting when you don't even think that you can. As you get older, you're more wiser, you know more what matters, you know what you're looking for, and you're not going to be, I think, quite as picky as you were when you were younger. And when we're younger, we're looking for a mate to raise children with. And so a whole bunch of things come into play. We're looking for somebody who's got great potential as far as jobs go. And usually we meet a lot of people who are in proximity to us, whether it's through school, through our jobs, college, all of those things. And we are usually around people that have the same type of standards or are looking for similar things as we are. So we've got a big pool of people to choose from. Now, as we've gotten older, we still have a pool of people to pick from. It's just finding where they are. And so if you have the right mindset and believe that you can meet somebody, then you'd be willing to meet and go and do things that get you in proximity with people who might have something in common with you. And that's one of the things that I did when I first started dating. I went to all the events. I went online and dated that way. I met up with friends who had friends, and some of those were married friends who had friends. And that's just, you've got to be open. And if you have a good mindset, it's going to show in your presence. You're going to show up excited, happy, and looking for or expecting the best. That's the main thing that, when you shift your mindset, it changes everything. You're going to change from the scarcity to abundance mindset. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. You'll go from fear to curiosity. You'll go from seeking to sharing. You'll go from I need someone to I'm whole already, but I would love to have someone to share my life with. Now, just making those tiny little tweaks makes a difference in how you see the whole dating process and how you think it's going to happen in your life. And so today, that's the main reason I'm doing this video is I counsel with a lot of friends and clients who are afraid. They have the mindset that they're too old. They have the mindset that online dating is too scary, don't want to do it. And you don't have to. But if you're not going to do online dating, then you've got to be open to doing other things that will have the same effect. And the big effect that we're going for is just getting around new people, meeting new people. If you're sitting at home, and this is one thing, and I know I'll probably get a lot of controversy about this, but I get comments, I'm going to wait on God. I'm going to wait. God's going to bring me the right man. Well, if you are a follower of the Bible and a follower of Jesus, you'll notice that in every miracle that Jesus did, whether it was for a man or for something, then he usually had the person do something. So say you think about the blind man, all right? So God touched his eyes, or Jesus touched his eyes, and then he had him go wash them in the pool. This was one incident. And then he could see, but he had to do something. And not that you've got to go out there and force a relationship with somebody or whatever, but you've got to be available. You have to make yourself available so that that person that you're looking for can find you. And then in that way that God works, it can develop and maneuver things so that you're in the right place at the right time. And you've got to be listening to what you're supposed to be doing. And I think God talks to us a lot. and we don't hear it, or we hear it and think, oh, can't do that. I'm too scared to do that. I'm not gonna, go to that party. I'm gonna be there by myself. I'm not gonna meet anybody. I don't know anybody. And so that may have been that prompting that you got from God to go to this party. And that might have been where you were supposed to meet someone. There's so many different experiences or opportunities that we have that we just go, nope, nope, can't do that. I'm not doing that. Too scary. And another thing that I notice, we watch way too much TV. We watch TV that talks about people who get abducted when they go online. You hear about somebody who's dated somebody for years and years, and then it turns out they're a serial killer. All these, and these are stories. These are TV stories, and sometimes you'll see it on the news too. But it's few and far between things that really, really happen. And we take all this in, and because we're taking all this in, it becomes a part of our subconscious mindset that we're talking about, where we think about it whenever we're asked to do anything that's a little bit out of our comfort zone. And our subconscious is there to protect us. And so it's not going to encourage you. It's going to be scary, but you're going to get promptings, and you're going to get ideas in your head of places to go, things to do, where you may meet someone that you've been looking for. And so you've got to be open to that, relax about it. Try not to make the whole process so scary. When you're not thinking about just going out and meeting friends, and you're thinking about, oh, I'm going out, I'm going to meet somebody, it's going to be a date, it's going to be perfect, then you're putting so much into it that you can't relax and actually experience going to an event and meeting somebody and it being easy. We make things so much harder than what they have to be. And most of it starts here, starts in our mind, and we create issues that aren't even there. When I first started dating again back probably about 11 years ago, um, I had gone through a lot of different experiences, but I had in my mind that this time I was going to meet someone who would meet the criteria that I was looking for, but also not just do exactly as I expected, but that I would be open to meet somebody, be curious about them, learn more about them, and have fun doing it. That was my whole thought when I started dating again, was this is going to be fun, and I'm going to meet new people, and you never know what might happen with some of those friendships. And so I think that that made a difference for me as far as what happened once I did start dating. And I had a great time. And as some of you know, I have met my now fiance, and we've been together for 10 years. If you believe that you are too old to find love again, then you will subconsciously prove that you're right. There's no magic pill for getting a mindset change or creating a mindset change for yourself, but there are some things that you can do. And some of those things would be to do a life coach or counseling of some kind to try to figure out how to get rid of all the negative things that you associate with dating or associate with friendships. Either one would work. And so, but it's going to take some initiative to pick up the phone or to talk to some friends of yours who may know of counselors that you can talk to or coaches that you can talk to. But some of these things are going to take some effort. So if you're wanting to meet somebody, then, and you're feeling like all you're thinking about is the scary stuff, the negative stuff, then I think it's worth taking the time to talk to somebody that can help you break through and get past those things that you're stuck at. And then the next thing is there's meetup groups all over the place on social media and mainly in person too. In fact, I just started a meetup group here in the Tacoma, Seattle area, just about getting groups of single people 60 and over together for events and doing something different every month and maybe more than once a month. And so there are groups out there that you can get involved in. And sometimes just your mindset is created because you're never around a lot of people. You're not meeting any new people. So getting out and meeting new people in these meetups could make all of the difference. And then try out online dating with a new perspective. So I've helped friends of mine get back online, and I don't, when they start communicating with people, I don't tell them necessarily what to say because I want them to be able to do that themselves and talk from their personal experience. But I do, when they meet somebody, they tell me about them, and normally they're coming from a negative point about what, I met this guy, he seems nice, but I don't know, he seems to be doing this or that, or just they'll list things that they don't like about the person, and then I just ask them questions. Well, why does that bother you? And that type of thing. And usually, most of the reasons that they're hesitant, it's just fear of rejection. It doesn't have anything to do with what the person says or is saying to them. They're just afraid if they get out there, here's one more person that may say no or not like me if I like them or whatever. So you can live the rest of your life like that in fear of what somebody else is going to think, but you have to go out there even on online dating and expect that I am looking for the right person. And if I'm going to see if he's right for me, not go out thinking, am I going to be right for him? So you have to have that attitude that you're the one that's looking. He may be looking too, but don't be on the defense. You want to be on the offense and try to kind of steer the ship the way you want the ship to go and not wait for somebody to say they like you before you open up. Just get out there, have fun, meet new people. They're not all going to be perfect for you. Just know that from the beginning. And you may have to go through a number of dates before you meet someone that you're compatible with. So just plan on that. And sometimes it happens sooner than later. But in the meantime, you're having fun. Don't take it so seriously. The truth is, you probably are going to meet somebody when you're having fun, when you're enjoying yourself and doing the things that you like to do. And just as an example, for those of you that have followed my videos for a while, you may have heard this story already, but I have a friend who lives not too far from me, but every day she would go out and walk her dog. She'd walk the same route every day, and she enjoyed going out and walking her dog. She's all into staying in shape, but also keeping her dog healthy as well. And just one day out walking, she runs into somebody who's out walking their dog too. The dogs seemed to get along and they started talking. And it turns out they walk the same route every day, but they'd never met before. And I think sometimes when you are in a good mood, good things happen. And that's what happened on this. She was in a good mood. Apparently he was too. They got talking. And this has been at least, gosh, it's been at least 8 years ago that they met. And it was just out walking their dogs, and they're having a great time. They travel a lot together, and they're a great couple. And that's just one incidence of someone just going out and doing what they like to do. Another example is two friends of mine, actually, that I went to high school with. And they both showed up at our 50th reunion. Didn't know each other in high school at all, but we were all involved in getting everything set up for the reunion. And he was actually lived in another state and came into town early and was just helping some of us get things all set up. And so my girlfriend, who happened to be there helping as well, they got talking, and he was helping her set up things and get some things ready for what we were doing for the evening. And they just started chatting and hit it off and started communicating over online or just through text because he went back home. He lives in Virginia, and he's on the East Coast. We're on the West Coast. And they continued to communicate online. And now she has moved to the East Coast. She comes back here periodically to visit with her kids, but she has moved to the East Coast, and they have, just worked out a great relationship with each other and are happy as clams. And that was a fun event that both of them were looking forward to, and they weren't necessarily looking for anybody at that time, but they came to the event to have fun and to reconnect with people. So if that's another opportunity, we're coming up to the springtime, and actually in spring now, and usually reunions happen during the summer, at the end of the summer. So if you've got any kind of a reunion coming up, be sure that you don't miss it. And I have a lot of friends that say, oh, I didn't like high school, I'm not going back. I'm not going to reunions or whatever. Well, if you're single and you want to meet someone, you just never know who you're going to connect with. And we all think back to people that we knew in high school. I mean, if I think back to people that I knew really well in high school, I can't think of anybody that I want to reconnect with. But these two people didn't even know each other in high school. And so they just got to talking and figured out that they had a lot in common. They just didn't have any classes together. They weren't in the same circle of friends together. And there you go. They ended up meeting 50 years later. So you just never know. And I love stories like this, and there's tons more of them. People who have reunited after, going to the same school, knowing somebody in the past, but it just the timing wasn't right for them, and you just never know what's going to happen. It's all about changing your mindset and changing your love life. So if any of this resonates with you, be sure to like and subscribe and share this video with anybody that you know who is over 60 and looking to meet somebody later in life. It is definitely never too late to date. We'll see you on the next video.